as lead agency and authorize the town planner to prepare, file, publish, and distribute all documents necessary to comply with 6 NYCRR Part 617 and State Environmental Review Act related to the above referenced proposed local law.
I have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Nobody wants to second it?
You can second it.
I'll second it. Any questions?
Mr. Godlewski?
No.
Ms. DeLeva?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
Supervisor Delgado?
Yes. Motion passed.
Resolution number 224.11, adopt standard workday for appointed officials for the purpose of determining days worked reportable to the New York State and local employees retirement system.
I have a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Any questions?
Just like to point something out. I would ask the board to focus on the planning board member and the zoning board member. Keep in mind that the planning board member meets twice a month, the zoning board only meets once a month. I've asked the controller for some background information on the times that were submitted, just for you to understand that. That's all I have.
Mr. Godlewski?
Yes?
Ms. DeLeva?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
Supervisor Delgado?
Yes, motion passed.
Resolution number 225.11, the Town Board of the Town of Rotterdam hereby authorizes the appropriation of parkland fees in the amount of $3,400 and hereby modifies the general fund budget by increasing estimated revenues A510 and the revenue account entitled Parkland Fees A2001.200100 by $3,400 and increasing appropriations A960 and a subsidiary account entitled Parks Improvements A7110.4153 by $3,400.
I have a motion. Nobody wants to make a motion?
I'll ask a question. The $3,400, where's it coming from?
From the parkland, that's, they had the roof repaired, I think at the Eagle Park, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it is.
Was it, and never got paid for it.
How long ago was
Submitted the bills, and nobody got paid.
How long was it done? Was it done during this administration?
Well, I believe it was, yeah. I'm not 100% sure on that.
All right, I want to table this until I find out, because I'm not going to agree to another bill that came in that wasn't paid for, but we had nothing to do with it. So can we just table this to get more information, please?
You want to wait to see when it was done?
I want to wait to see where these bills
I
come
don't have a
from.
problem.
Okay, excuse me, Mr. Supervisor. If you read the attachment, Councilwoman DeLeva.
No, I just got
Did
it.
you read item 1 there? Now, I don't want to make an assumption. It says it was replaced, the roof, cost as approved in resolution in April of 2010. All right, now, I don't know whether the work was approved the year before. I can't answer that.
But it was done during our administration. If it was done, then I have no problem.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like.
Okay, I'll make a motion to move this forward.
You make a motion.
I made a
to what?
motion.
I made a motion for it.
To go forward.
Yes.
Okay.
But can I just stress the fact, when work is done, they need to send the bills right away, and we need to pay them. This waiting and waiting and waiting, and before it comes to us, is ridiculous. I've stated this before, and I'm going to state it again. If we have work done, They need to send the bill within 30 days to get paid.
I agree.
Well,
They should get paid when they do the work, but the bill wasn't paid. And I don't know who neglected to pay it, but it never got paid. They sent several bills.
well, who receives the bill for them? Who's receiving these bills and
They
not
sent the
paying?
bill to the town. I guess they, the way I
Well,
got it,
what-
it's a
what-
softball league, I think. And they kept sending the bill and nobody got paid.
But
And then
who did they send the bill to? Who kept the bills and why would not, they
well,
not
I
give
believe
them?
it was the contractor who sent the bill that fixed the roof.
I understand that. Who's the contractor? Who did he send the bill to? Did it go to our comptroller? Who's holding up not paying our bills? I'd like to know the person that works for us who's receiving these bills. Who has these bills? Where did we find the bills?
Who signed the bill?
No. Frank, the contractor.
Correct.
Who is the contractor?
They told me, but I forgot.
Okay, well,
It
who did
was
he?
some roofing contractor fixed the roof. And, I don't know how it come to be, who hired them, how it got that way. I imagine Public Works hired them, maybe the baseball field, I don't know. They fixed the roof and then never got paid. They
So
sent
are you-
several bills.
Are you saying this is coming out of Reesner's office, the Public Works office? Because somebody in
It would be
town,
out of Parkland, the Parkland feed, who's in control of Parkland feed?
somebody in town,
We are.
are receiving
Who
the
are?
bills.
We
So,
are.
Bob,
We are.
did you receive
So maybe
these?
they sent it to Greaser's office and they never got paid. Maybe it never went to the right department. He might shoot in the garbage or whatever. I
However,
don't know what the reason is really. The last thing in my mind is $3,400 for a roof.
well, the first thing in my mind is
I
bills are
do
being,
know that the roof was done, and the lady from the softball league kept hollering, this contractor keeps coming to us to get paid.
Well-
And then it got neglected again and again and again, and finally, it got to here.
Michelle, do you get bills in
The only bill I receive is from the Daily Gazette.
That's right.
for
Okay,
cable.
well, I would like to know who is responsible for receiving these bills, who had received them for the several times that they're claiming that they've sent them,
When we
and why
first,
weren't they paid?
when we first started this conversation, you suggested, Mr. Linda, that we table this.
Yeah.
I agree with you on this one. Should be
Well,
tabled.
we
We can find out, excuse me, Mr. Supervisor, if we could find out who got the bill, where the bill went, why it wasn't paid. And $3,400 is a lot of money. We're in tough shape right now from what the supervisor's office says. So let's find out where the $3,500 is coming from, $3,400, and why we didn't pay it.
And
It's
I'd
only
like-
simple.
I asked that question. I asked that
I
question.
understand. but
I'd
maybe-
also like to know who the contractor is, because I would like to apologize on behalf of the town for not paying the bill that was sent to us several times. So I would like
Find
to,
out,
so
call
let's,
if you wish, with,
I would think we'd all want to know that question, and I do myself. Let's hold it up, why don't we, until we get an answer.
you wanna not pay the bill until you find out who it is? Is
I'd
that
like to
what
know-
you're saying, or do you wanna pay the bill
Well,
and
if
then
the-
call the contractor?
If the
and
bill is
apologize?
negligent, if the bill is negligent now, we haven't paid our bills, there's a reason why, if it happened with this one, it could happen with other ones. So maybe we find out why, and we fix the problem so it doesn't happen again, then we make an apology to the people that did the work, because they didn't get paid apparently, unless it was their fault and not ours.
There's two issues here, Mr. Supervisor. One is we have an outstanding bill.
Correct.
And I understand the council's concern, because we've had this issue before. As far as the money, I think it's important that you understand that this is a dedicated fund that developers pay into. And the only thing that it can be used for is parkland, to buy parkland, which was the original intent. I think Mr. Brick wrote this, and unfortunately, over the last 8 years, Andy, shall we say, it has been used to do general maintenance on the parks. Now, I didn't create that problem, but I think it's important that you understand that the only thing this money sets out here, it doesn't go in to the fund balance. it rolls over, so it's like you keep drawing down on it, and then one of the problems is, I see Mr. Severinson's out in the audience, when you want to go look, say in the western part of the town to buy a piece of land, that was the intent of this money, right? And, every board takes a different slant on it. Now, if you want to change, the town code to say it only can be used to purchase parkland, but what I'm saying is there's two issues here. There seems to be a problem with invoices coming into the town. Now, I know they all go to the controller's office. At least as far as I know they do. They get stamped in, and then they go to the appropriate department head, who's supposed to review them, puts a sub-account number on it that you see referenced here, and then they send it back up to the controller for payment. And the controller has a nasty habit of reminding them that they're using the wrong account, because, they think they can use somebody else's checkbook to pay their bills.
Who's they?
The department heads, they constantly find, in other words, where they'll use an inappropriate appropriation number, a ledger
So
number.
who would be the department head that was
Well,
responsible for
this should have
this?
come down to Griezmer, all right,
Okay.
and there should be a stamp on it when it's received in the controller's office, and then, goes down to them, and then, that's the checkpoint. And then it's supposed to come back. Like I said, I don't know what happened, but I have noticed that there does seem to be a couple. But I think it's important that you understand that the only thing this money can be used for, we can't use this money anyplace else in the budget. So if it's a money issue, we have to pay it, right? The money's been used for that purpose. The fact that the bill is late, I don't think we want to penalize the contractor who's done the work.
Bob, the
You don't even know who
issue,
he is?
Bob,
Well,
the
I know, I'm
issue
just
is
saying.
this.
I mean.
Excuse me,
this is-
let me explain what happened there. I believe it was a girl softball league who said the roof was leaking. And I believe it was Mike, I'm not absolutely sure, said, get it fixed. And they hired a contractor who put a whole new roof on it without him knowing this. And then he found out the roof was put on, and the contractor sent a bill for $3,400. And he said, well, how much repair was done here that it's $3,400? That's why it wasn't paid. He went back and forth with this bill before it even got to us. I'm sure if it was going to be $3,400, he would have brought it before the board and said, look, we can't just pay $3,400 without the board passing this to spend it $3,400. But they already had done this, and him going back and forth, the bill never got paid.
According
And
to,
that's the way he kind of explained it to me, and it was a screwed up mess. The girls just went and did this on their own.
according to this, that's not how it happened. According to this, in this resolution that I got, it says Eunice O. Esposito Park, replace concession stand roof at a cost of $3,400 as approved on resolution number 160.10 on April 28, 2010. So-
we did approve that.
So this was approved a year ago,
That's the
April.
problem.
A year ago. The problem is the bills are coming in and they're not being paid. And I'd like to talk
I
to the
don't know why
director.
they didn't get paid, but the way Mike explained it,
So is it Mr. Griezmer's fault then? Is that what we're saying?
uh,
Is that what we're saying, is Mr. Griezmer's fault?
well, I mean, the roof was replaced, so we gotta pay it. If you wanna ask all the other questions about it, I mean, it isn't like you're not gonna pay the bill.
All right, you know what? One more month's not gonna hurt because he's already waited over a year. I'd like to table this and talk to Mr. Griezmer, and I'd like to understand why these bills are being sent to his office and they haven't been paid. There was a resolution from
Well,
here.
that's what he explained to me.
Well, I think he needs to explain it to us. This is happening way too often, it's ridiculous. So
Well,
I withdraw my motion, I'm asking to table this, please.
Right, I would have that conversation with him if I was you.
I plan to, Frank, Supervisor DeVille.
Yeah, I think it should be tabled also. And when we get Mr. Griezmann's response, I'd like a copy of it in writing if I could, so I know that this doesn't happen again and we all realize where we are and we don't do this again and make us look like silly out to the public here, why we ain't paying our bills.
Go ahead, call the roll.
Well, we got,
Let's pay
someone's
the
got
bill
to
and
I'd
be
like to
done with
make a
it.
motion to table this.
What's that?
I'd like to make a motion to table this.
For what reason?
Because I don't have enough information, and I would like to know who the contractor is, because I would like to apologize to them for not being paid in a reasonable time if they were sending several bills to us. And I'd like to have more information from Mr. Griezmann.
In other words, you wanted to go another month and then apologize, or you're gonna apologize that I'm not gonna pay you, but you're gonna wait another month because I want to table this?
I didn't say I wasn't gonna pay him.
You know the bill was owed, we need to pay it. Why don't we pay it, then you can apologize to anybody you want to.
Because I'm not paying something that I have no idea, and then I hear
I
something from...
suggest we call a roll.
You just said, can I just finish what I was saying? Wait a minute.
You don't need to explain why you want to take
All right, I'm gonna make a motion to table this.
Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
The motion is to table this resolution, number 225.11. Mr. Godlewski?